Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. In a world where everyone rushes to speak, pause, or argue, silence has become rare and valuable. Keep your mouth shut isn't about weakness, it's about wisdom. It's about knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the talking. Silence is often misunderstood as a sign of fear, insecurity, or lack of confidence. However, true strength lies in the ability to remain calm and composed, even when provoked. It takes immense inner discipline to control one's emotions and resist the urge to respond impulsively. When someone chooses silence over reaction, it shows that they value peace more than proving a point. This restraint demonstrates maturity, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness, qualities that define strong and wise individuals. People who can stay silent in the heat of the moment understand that not every situation demands a response. They realize that speaking out in anger or frustration often leads to regret later. Silence allows them to think clearly, assess the situation, and respond thoughtfully when necessary. It also helps maintain control over one's emotions, preventing unnecessary conflicts or misunderstandings. Choosing silence, therefore, is not about avoiding confrontation. It's about mastering one's reaction and maintaining dignity in every circumstance. In a noisy world where everyone feels the need to express opinions constantly, silence becomes a rare and powerful form of self-control. It separates those who are reactive from those who are reflective. A strong person understands that silence can communicate more powerfully than words ever could. It can display confidence, patience, and authority without uttering a single sentence. Those who truly know their worth never feel pressure to prove it through endless talking. They let their calmness speak for them. Moreover, silence provides mental clarity and emotional stability. It allows the mind to cool down and regain focus before making any decision or statement. When someone remains silent during chaos, they project strength and stability that others naturally respect. People often remember those who stay composed when everyone else loses control. Thus, silence becomes a shield of strength, a quiet yet powerful force that commands respect and demonstrates emotional maturity. Words carry immense power. They can inspire, heal, and unite, but they can also wound, divide, and destroy. Once spoken, words travel beyond our control and cannot be retrieved. A single harsh statement said in anger or frustration can leave scars that no apology can fully erase. People may forget your actions over time, but the words you said, especially the ones that hurt, tend to linger in their minds. That is why wise individuals think carefully before they speak, understanding that every word has consequences and echoes beyond the moment it's uttered. When emotions run high, people often speak without thinking, only to regret their words later. Anger clouds judgment and makes us say things we do not truly mean. But once those words are out, they can't be undone. The damage they cause can ripple through relationships, careers, and reputations. Words can destroy trust that took years to build. That is why silence in moments of anger is not avoidance, it's wisdom. Taking a pause before speaking gives one the opportunity to cool down, think clearly, and choose words that heal rather than harm. Moreover, in today's digital age, the permanence of words has become even more significant. What you say or post can easily be recorded, shared, and misinterpreted. A careless comment made in haste can resurface at any time and affect one's credibility, relationships, or even future opportunities. The internet does not forget, and neither do people. Therefore, speaking with mindfulness has become more crucial than ever. Choosing your words carefully is a form of self-protection, as well as a demonstration of respect for others. Words are like arrows. Once released, they cannot be taken back. They have the power to either uplift or destroy, to create harmony or chaos. Understanding this truth makes one more mindful and intentional in communication. The truly wise person speaks less, but with more purpose, ensuring that their words contribute value rather than harm. In this sense, controlling one's speech is a reflection of emotional intelligence and foresight, qualities that protect both one's relationships and one's peace of mind. Observation is one of the most underrated yet powerful skills a person can develop. When you choose silence, you open your senses to the world around you. Instead of rushing to speak, you begin to notice things that others overlook. The tone in someone's voice, the expression behind their smile, the tension in their silence. These small details reveal truths that words often hide. Observing without judgment allows you to understand situations and people more deeply, granting you an advantage that those who speak too quickly often miss. True wisdom grows not from talking, but from watching, listening, and learning. Silence gives you the opportunity to absorb information and process it carefully before responding. When you are not constantly focused on what to say next, your mind becomes more receptive. You begin to see patterns in behavior, detect motives, and recognize opportunities that others fail to see. Observation helps you understand timing, when to act, when to speak, and when to remain quiet. This kind of awareness cannot be developed in a noisy environment or by a person who always needs to be heard. It takes patience and humility to observe first and speak later. Moreover, observation builds emotional intelligence. By quietly watching how people behave in different situations, you learn empathy and human behavior. You begin to understand what makes people happy, angry, or afraid. This understanding makes your interactions more thoughtful and genuine. When you speak after careful observation, your words carry more meaning because they come from understanding, not assumption. Silent observation transforms you into someone who listens with intent and responds with insight, qualities that earn respect and trust from others. The wisest people in history have always been great observers. They didn't gain knowledge by constantly speaking, but by paying attention to the world around them. Observation allows you to learn from the mistakes of others without experiencing them yourself. It saves you from unnecessary conflicts and helps you navigate life with clarity and precision. In silence, your mind sharpens, your intuition strengthens, and your understanding deepens. The habit of observing before reacting turns ordinary individuals into thoughtful leaders and wise decision makers. Silence is not just the absence of speech, it is a form of protection, a shield that guards your inner strength, emotions, and intentions. When you keep your thoughts to yourself, you preserve your mental energy and prevent others from misusing your words or twisting your intentions. Not everyone around you needs to know what you think, plan, or feel. Sharing too much gives others the power to influence your decisions or exploit your weaknesses. Silence, on the other hand, keeps people guessing. It allows you to maintain control over what others know about you, and that mystery becomes a quiet source of strength in life. The more you reveal, the more vulnerable you become. People often talk too much about their dreams, plans, or opinions, only to face unnecessary criticism or jealousy. Silence eliminates this risk. It gives you the space to work quietly, letting your results speak instead of your promises. The less you explain yourself, the more powerful your actions appear. When you don't feel the need to defend or justify yourself, you demonstrate confidence and independence. You show that you are not seeking validation from anyone, and that kind of self-assurance commands respect. Silence also helps protect your emotions during difficult situations. When you stay quiet in the face of provocation, you prevent others from controlling your reactions. People who understand emotional control know that silence can be the most powerful response to negativity. By refusing to engage, you deny others the satisfaction of seeing you lose composure. Your calmness disarms them, making you appear stronger and wiser. Silence keeps your energy focused and unshaken by the chaos around you, turning potential conflicts into moments of inner victory. Moreover, silence grants you the ability to observe, plan, and act strategically. When you speak less, you listen more, and listening gives you valuable insight. You learn what others think and how they operate, all while keeping your own cards close. This makes silence a tool of influence and control. The powerful understand that knowledge is best guarded behind quiet confidence. Protecting your power through silence does not mean isolation. It means being selective about what you share and with whom. It is the art of mastering yourself before the world has a chance to define you. Silence is often the wisest choice in moments of tension or disagreement. When emotions are high, words can become weapons, and even the smallest remark can escalate into a full-blown argument. Choosing silence at such times does not mean surrendering. It means valuing peace over pride. Many conflicts continue not because of the issue itself, but because both sides insist on having the last word. When you stay silent, you remove the fuel that keeps the fire burning. You allow time for emotions to settle, giving yourself and others space to think rationally instead of reacting impulsively. Conflict thrives on reaction. When you respond immediately to provocation, you feed into someone someone else's anger and let them control your emotions. But when you remain quiet, you take back your power. Silence shows that you refuse to be dragged into negativity or drama. It creates an invisible wall that protects your mental peace. People often mistake silence for weakness, but in reality, it is a sign of great strength. It takes far more courage to walk away from an argument than to stay and prove a point that doesn't truly matter. By staying calm and composed, you end conflicts before they even begin. Silence also gives you the advantage of clarity. When you don't rush to respond, you gain time to observe the situation from different perspectives. You begin to understand the real cause of the disagreement instead of reacting to surface-level emotions. Many people regret the things they say in anger because words spoken in haste cannot be taken back. Silence acts as a filter. It stops harmful words from escaping and hurting others or yourself. It allows wisdom to replace anger and patience to replace ego, leading to resolutions that are thoughtful instead of destructive. In relationships, workplaces, or any environment involving human interaction, silence can be the bridge that prevents permanent damage. Instead of shouting, arguing, or defending endlessly, silence sends a message of control and maturity. It often makes the other person reflect on their behavior, realizing that shouting against calmness makes them look smaller. Silence turns the focus inward, forcing others to confront their own emotions instead of projecting them onto you. In this way, it preserves not only peace but also dignity, reminding us that not every battle is worth fighting and not every word deserves a response. Silence has a unique way of bringing out the truth in people. When you choose not to speak, you create a space where others feel compelled to fill the void with their own words and behavior. In that space, their real intentions begin to surface. People reveal who they are not through what they say about themselves, but through how they act when you are quiet. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their honesty, arrogance, kindness, or deceit. Those who are genuine will remain steady and respectful in your silence, while those with hidden motives often grow uncomfortable and expose their true selves. By staying silent, you remove the distraction of your own voice and focus entirely on observing others. You start to notice the inconsistencies in their words, the way they treat others, and the expressions that betray their real emotions. Many people use words to disguise their true intentions, but silence exposes what speech tries to hide. It gives you the chance to understand who is sincere and who only pretends to be. Silence is not just a lack of noise. It is a tool of perception that helps you read people more deeply than they expect. Silence also tests loyalty and patience. When you step back and stop explaining, justifying, or seeking approval, you quickly learn who truly stands by you. Real friends and honest people will respect your quietness, while those who only valued your energy or attention will drift away. This is one of the greatest lessons silence offers. It shows you who values you for your presence and who only cared for your words. When you stop giving constant reassurance or conversation, you force people to reveal their true level of care and commitment. In relationships, workplaces, or social circles, silence often speaks louder than confrontation. It shows who is mature enough to understand your boundaries and who feels threatened by them. People who respect you will never demand explanations for your silence. They will give you space and understanding. But those who are insincere will grow restless, trying to provoke a reaction or manipulate the quiet. In these moments, you see their real character without having to say a single word. Silence, therefore, is not just peace, it is truth in disguise, quietly showing you who deserves a place in your life and who does not. Silence has an undeniable power to create an aura of mystery around a person. When you speak less, people naturally become curious about what you think, feel, or plan. That curiosity gives you a quiet influence. People start to observe you more closely and wonder about your intentions. In a world where most individuals reveal too much too quickly, the one who keeps their words measured stands out. Silence makes people work harder to understand you, and in doing so, it draws attention and admiration. The unknown always fascinates people, and when you master the art of silence, you become that mystery others can't easily define. People often associate mystery with wisdom and depth. When you refrain from sharing every thought or opinion, others perceive you as thoughtful and intelligent. They assume that your silence hides knowledge and self-control. This perception naturally builds respect. Those who talk too much may gain attention for a moment, but those who speak less and with purpose gain lasting influence. Your silence can make others choose their words carefully around you because they realize you do not waste yours. Respect is born from the understanding that you are not easily read or influenced, that you have mastered the balance between expression and restraint. Moreover, silence enhances your presence in any environment. When you do speak, people listen more intently because they know your words carry weight. You don't speak to fill the air, you speak to make an impact. This controlled communication establishes authority without aggression. In meetings, friendships, or negotiations, the quiet person often commands more attention than the loudest one because silence signals confidence. You are not desperate to be heard. Instead, you choose when and how to use your voice, and that choice makes every word more meaningful. Beyond influence, silence also reflects inner peace and self-assurance. When you're comfortable with silence, it shows that you are not driven by the need for validation. You are content with your own thoughts and confident in your presence. This kind of calmness draws others toward you. They sense stability and wisdom in your quiet demeanor. The mysterious aura created by silence does not isolate you. Rather, it magnifies your value in the eyes of others. By not giving away everything through constant talking, you maintain your dignity, safeguard your privacy, and let your silence command the respect that words often fail to earn. In the end, learning to keep your mouth shut is not about silence alone. It is about power, discipline, and wisdom. Words can build or break, heal or harm, strengthen or destroy. When you learn the art of silence, you gain control over your emotions, your image, and your destiny. You begin to understand that not every thought needs to be spoken, not every emotion needs to be expressed, and not every argument deserves a reply. True strength lies in restraint, and true intelligence lies in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Silence, when used wisely, becomes your greatest ally, a quiet force that protects your peace, sharpens your mind, and amplifies your voice when it finally chooses to be heard.